building skills,
building homes,
building community.
Disaster and crisis come in many forms, and one of the ongoing challenges following the fires of 2020 and the pandemic is homelessness. Responding to this crisis was Gabe Petrovich, who took a different direction in solving this issue. He founded Everyone Village, a transitional shelter program for folks experiencing homelessness, located in West Eugene. Operated by Everyone Church, Everyone Village brings wraparound support services into one intentional community. In this video, you will learn about Everyone Village and other organizations in Southern Oregon battling similar circumstances.
I ended up taking on a small struggling church in Eugene and helping them to finish their story out. And lo and behold, in the midst of that effort, I met some folks on the street corner in front of the church that were experiencing homelessness. The least I could do for my new friends was afford them a place on the church's covered porch to be dry when the rain came at night. And that really starts the story of what has now become Everyone Village. So we do help that church close. We do get a small chunk of proceeds from the sale of the building to start something new. And it just so happens that it aligns with all of us coming out of COVID and the outcomes of unsheltered homelessness exploding in places like Eugene, Lane County, and Oregon, and across the country even now we know. We see the beginning of Everyone Village open officially, and almost as soon as we open, we're at work with Team Oregon Build's earliest forms to get units in here built by students.
The great thing about Team Oregon Build is that we are united in ideas and united in direction. And so it was a really easy ask to get us to coordinate within ourselves and help those people out. So we built a bus out into a tiny home and we gave it to a family that needed it. We learned a lot in that process. We learned that building a tiny home out of a bus is very difficult. And we had a lot of students that participated. They learned welding, they learned fine carpentry, they learned some construction skills, and mostly they learned how to work hard. But what we learned is that a bus can be more versatile than just a home. From our first training in Klamath Falls, there was quickly realized that there's a greater need for more training in more areas. And every time we did it, somebody would suggest, can you do this in a different part of our state? Every time we would do it, somebody would say, this would be great at my school in Eastern Oregon or in Eugene or wherever we were. I've always liked working with Talent Maker City and Allie and her whole team. And we were able to come up with this project that helped my school, helped her program and our community, and really had a lot of fun doing it.
So every day here is different. We do a bunch of different stuff, everything from like small business support to working with nonprofit partners on elevating their stories and their messages, as well as working directly with the community. We do adult workshops in ceramics and screen printing and woodworking, as well as a very robust youth programming. So everything from COVID to the fire really taught us how a community can show up and respond to disaster. And that coming together, when you're talking about students being able to make things, like in COVID, they were 3D printing things from home and dropping them off. We loaded the files up on our website so the community could be involved in that response. It wasn't just a small group of people doing it. It reached out into the whole community. And the same after the fire, we had a mutual aid station going out in front of our makerspace. People were showing up and dropping off needed supplies, everything from pet food to diapers to water. We built solar chargers so people could come and charge their cell phones when we were without power. And it not only provided those necessary things in response to the disaster, but it was a place for the community to gather and connect again, which really just goes back to the whole thing. You know, when we're looking at responding, you're responding because we're a community and we need to get out of this together.
Rogue Retreat's response to the wildfires was largely around helping people who didn't have a place to go after the fires, who also may not have had a place to go before the wildfires, be safe and stable. A lot of the big systematic disaster response is all about helping people replace what they had before the disaster. The folks that didn't own anything before, weren't on the lease agreement, lost something that maybe not have been considered housing, are going to really struggle to be whole at the end of that experience. And when we've got people who are displaced and scared, especially during our very unique combination of wildfires and the pandemic, you got a lot of people who are scared for a lot of reasons and just need a place to be stable. And that was a big part of what Rogue Retreat was able to offer. And then we also tried to work with other programs like the Gateway Project in Talent to offer property management into the more recent kind of disaster response programs that popped up there.